Hey everybody, my name is Nitrix, and this is my new series, Background Rambles. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we chat about the updates that the Hypixel team has pushed and upcoming updates from the future, as well as gameplay discussion. Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about SkyBlock Bingo. What I like about it, what I don't like about it, and some suggestions that I'd have to, I don't want to say fix things, but at least spice them up a little bit so that they don't suck so much. So yeah, I think the first thing that I want to say is that Bingo is awesome. Like, as a concept, and for the most part, I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It gets you, kind of to experience the early game again, which for a late game player like me, when there's so little left to be done in the game, it's really refreshing to feel like, oh my god, I'm getting skyblock levels again. I'm getting, skill levels again. I'm progressing through things so quickly. Like, it can be really enjoyable, and I enjoy that aspect of it. Except when it's December and it's the 12th time that I've done Bingo this year, right? At which point I'm just incredibly tired of it, and it gets to be boring. I mean, I love the early game rush aspect and all that, the first 6 times, but after that it just becomes the exact same, okay, you need to grind these collections, you need to do, this, talisman, you need to get this much magical power, you need to get this many pets. It's the exact same, and I mean, like, seriously, the exact same with minor changes every single time. And I know that there was Extreme Bingo in the past, but since I've been playing since last February, there hasn't been a single Extreme Bingo, or at least not one that I've seen. Would love to see that come back and something, some actual difficulty, some challenges, etc. Sound like they would be nice, but at the same time, one of the things that Bingo really struggles with is diversity, right? It doesn't mean much when you change the 50,000 collection requirement from gunpowder to mutton. Either way, I'm just setting up a bunch of minions, letting them ride, and then checking them, often enough with a fucking compactor if I really feel like it. So, yeah, I don't think that there's enough variety around Bingo, and I think that it gets to be a little bit grueling, especially, when you think about excluding, God splashes, which are a great part of the Bingo community, but when you exclude that, the scaling QOL of the potion effects and just general scaling QOL of Bingo is problematic simply because you shouldn't have to put in literally hundreds of hours in Bingo to be able to start with a fucking grappling hook. Like, that's so out there, right? Maybe that's a bad, analogy. We can actually take a look at the Bingo itself, because I don't really remember what's at what stage. I'm stage 3 Bingo at the moment, or level 3, I should say. I don't even know if I can check without actually going to the Bingo guy. But yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to try this hard for those quality of life updates. So I really think that they should take the existing, sort of way that they have Bingo set up, which is having, these 4 ranks, and they should expand it out to 10 ranks. And each of those ranks should have more of a nominal increase in points between them, the same amount of points across the entirety of it, except at the end, there is just more to be gained over a longer term, right? So better personal compactors, better personal deleters, a mythic Bingo pet would be a cool thing to actually be able to achieve or start with, though I get the tier boost thing. That is pretty cool. But there's a lot of quality of life that you could hand out much sooner by having Bingo not just be 4 ranks, or rather 5 if you include like 0 or whatever. But yeah, it's a little unfortunate that Bingo is disregarded by so much of the community because it's so bland, because it can be fun, and it would be a great way for the Hypixel admins to be able to introduce people to new styles of play, right? The Iron Man thing is great, but, why not have a stranded Bingo? Why not have, a Bingo where you play on perhaps, controlled Bingo servers? I don't know actually how easy that would be, but, specifically only other Bingo players that you're playing with. That way, you can trade specifically with just other Bingo players in certain Bingos. Small things like that would make it a lot more interesting. I mean, imagine having an extreme Bingo where you can trade other people, and there's a 200 million coin miser task. I mean, things like that would be so much more interesting. And then at the end, again, you've taken that work and you've put it in Bingo instead of on your main account. And so you just transfer that over. Basically the same number of hours, maybe slightly less, were spent making the money. Like, it's not going to destroy the economy if bingo's fucking fun. So yeah, I don't think that there's a lot that's being gained from the level of restriction, a level of monotony that bingo sort of is tasked with. And it shows as well in the prices, right? The cost of the bingo items right now is unbelievable, right? Like a bingo talisman, 100 mil. Bingo ring, 460 mil. Bingo artifact, basically 950 mil. And bingo relics are 1.8 billion. Dude, people do not want to do bingo. And so these items are crazy expensive. I mean, I get that you can only do it once a month, but that is not what the price would look like if you can only do it once a month. If everybody was doing it, right? Or if a lot of people were doing it. Bingo is definitely dying, and I do not see very many people in lobbies anymore playing bingo, at least even compared to when I first started. I just don't see it anymore. And I don't see people, talking about enjoying themselves playing bingo. Personally, I took a 3-month break from playing bingo because I just couldn't handle the exact same grind over again. And when I came back, it was super fresh. So to some extent, it is down to the person. But at the same time, there needs to be some consideration of complexity, some consideration of challenge, some consideration of, enjoyment for everybody across the entire board, right? So it shouldn't just be hours input. There should be, difficult challenges that require players to, push the limits of what they previously thought that they were capable of doing. There need to be, relatively easy challenges that lead players into trying content that's easy, but they haven't tried before. I think to reference perhaps the raffle dailies that were offered, some of them being things like kill Ashfang, do the crystal nucleus. Like, I know that do the crystal nucleus is actually already a bingo one, and I think that that's actually very fun. Like that is a really enjoyable rush, right? There's a set way of doing it. You have two options, on doing it that set way. Do you want to do it the daily way where you just do your Hotum dailies and fuck off? Or do you want to do it the hardcore way where you just actually grind Hotum XP, grind commissions? And then also, why not, put some ability to have these bingo tasks tie into each other, right? Like, don't just make it so that I have to do 50,000 mutton collection and an aspect of the end. Like, God forbid I have to do 50,000 Eye of Ender or Ender Pearl collection and, an aspect of the end. I think that would be a lot better. The diversity really wouldn't hurt. I don't think that many people would complain if they made bingo a little bit harder, not in the terms of the amount of time that you need to put in, but in terms of the actual things that you need to do. I mean, like, if I were to be devilish, I would say add something like kill a blade soul. But then at the same time, that's just going to mostly end up being people getting carried by their friends. So there's a lot of potential for bingo to be, fucked around with by people who are able to get other profiles or other accounts and friends to boost them, but that's sort of the nature of the beast when it comes to bingo, and there's not a lot that you can do considering the fact that it's integrated with the main game. In games like RuneScape, where they have things that are similar to bingo, like leagues, if anyone is familiar with old school RuneScape's leagues, they're basically reset servers, with boosted XP, boosted gains, all these various different boosted loot and stuff, but it's separate from the main game. And that makes it so that the constraints that have to be put on it are way less. And they can do a lot more. So yeah, I think personally, bingo has a lot of potential. It's great, repeatable content. I love that there's something to look forward to at the end or beginning of every month. It's great. And I think that they really hit the sweet spot as well with it being 1 month apart and with it being 1 week long. I think that hits perfectly. So no changes there. I think that basically what I've said is what I've said, and everything that I've needed to cover has been covered by now. Bingo's just kind of boring. And I would like to see them make some changes to bingo so that there would be more enjoyable diversity to the tasks, more things that are correlated with each other, and more of a drive to do more unique content. All right, that's it for today. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'd love to hear down in the comments what you guys think about bingo. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you play it every month? Do you skip it whenever you can? I'd love to hear. Thanks so much for tuning in.